Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Thursday night for Doddie Aid. And this is going to be an absolute cracker. Have we got an evening of entertainment for you? I hope you enjoyed last week if you were there. If you're brand new, this is how it goes. We speak to great people, all in the name of Doddie Weir, all in the name of raising pennies, of walking and running and rowing and cycling and doing all those things for miles. And this week, we want you to find a friend. We want you to sign people up and bring them in. Now, let's get in early, just like he has. Mr. Think Fitness for Less, who's hiding behind his business name, Mr. Greg Dalglish down there in Hoyk, the grey old toon, is having a go at me already, saying we need subtitles. This is my teaching voice, so just you behave yourself, Dalgie. Right, let's get going. We've got an action-packed evening. First up, we've got a special guest. Then we're going to bring in all those wonderful people you see on the poster. And if you thought I was excited last week, well, since I knew the lineup, I can't wait. So get involved. Let's get some messages down on that chat. Where have you been? How far have you walked safely and socially distanced? Where have you cycled? Have you done any rowing? Where have you been? Were you one of the prize winners last week? Did you bag yourself a wee genius? Because we've got some more to give away. And 5p from every can of genius goes to the foundation. And we also have a bit of a foundation update tonight because there are some good things happening. But enough of that nonsense. You're not here to listen to me and certainly not to look at me. Let's bring in special guest number one. I don't know is he the brains behind it? I'm not sure, but it's Mr. Rob Wainwright. Good evening, sir. How are you?
A little sweaty, Bruce, just off a Doddie Aid Zwift race, which had 400 people and went off at a rip-roaring pace. And so I'm glowing, I think is the expression. Since it's ladies' night, I can say I'm not sweating, I'm glowing.
Okay. See, I've just got that on because I had to walk for around the corner. So yes, you've been Zwifting. And how unbelievable is that you've just been Zwifting with 400 people?
It is amazing, and that's small compared with Sunday when we had Sir Chris Hoy leading a Zwift race when we had 800 people all riding at a more leisurely pace than tonight, just riding along, getting some great chat off Sir Chris. So very kind of him to do that, and he's doing it for the next 3 Sundays as well. So anyone that has a Zwift set up, come and join us at 9:45 a.m. I think it is every Sunday.
And the names you've dropped in already, Sir Chris Hoy, the people that are getting behind this. I've just seen the next Lorraine Kelly off the telly installment getting right behind it. We've had some good-looking boy that's in heaps of movies. We've got a Jedi Master. The support has been fantastic, hasn't it?
It has, and I suppose the main point that I'd like to make is that we've got the well-kent faces up the top, and it's very exciting to have Jerry, as I like to call him, Jerry Butler, and Ewan McGregor, and Lorraine has been fantastic. She's part of the North and Midlands management team, and we've had some fantastic people. The girls that we're talking with tonight, amazing. They've been great supporters, but what's really been uplifting about it is the grassroots support. And I keep coming back to Orkney. It's just been amazing. I think we sent a wee challenge to Orkney around about Christmas time, and boy, have they answered. And Shetland, and communities all over the north have just seem to have come in their entirety, and it's been extremely uplifting. And watching on Facebook and other social media, all the banter that's coming through, and I think it's given everyone a difficult January with COVID.
Oh, 100%. And you mentioned Orkney, friends of mine up there, Glenn McLennan, who's a brilliant guy. He's a penguin, which will make sense to people that know about rugby and absolutely no sense to anybody else. Glenn is getting involved. Caroline Watson, a good friend of mine, with her family, have been out and about on Renabister Farm, racking up the miles. It's so good. And I think you've touched on it there. It's a sense of community when actually we can't be together.
Exactly, and I've had a slightly sweatier community with 400 people on it's got a great buzz to it, and that's fueled by having our Jedi Knights and our Spartans, and we're hunting for Time Lords and Spice Girls, and if anyone listening can throw someone else. We've actually got 2 extra columns on the scoreboard, or 2 extra rows, sorry, that are waiting to be filled in. So I've told all the management team they can add what they like. But at the moment, we've got a Spartan and a Jedi, but we're hoping to add more to that. A Bond, maybe.
I noticed that we've got a Glasgow one Spartan warrior and a Northern Midlands 1 Jedi Knight. But I tell you what, if somebody adds a Spice Girl, this will go off the chart. Oh, Davy Oliver, look at that, Davy Oliver. Let's get Louise Redknapp on. Yes. There's a challenge. There is a challenge, but enough of that. So, Rob, whose idea was this nonsense?
Well, we actually did one of these 3 years ago, but it didn't take off in quite the same way. And we made the mistake of trying to go too big. And we had the home nations, and Scotland had a good turn up. We had 3,000 people took part from Scotland, but I think we had 23 from Wales and 17 from Ireland, and a fair showing from England and the rest of the world. But it didn't take off. But the timing's just right. I think we've got a better model concentrating on home ground. And I think the other thing that's changed is 3 years ago, everyone respected Doddie, and he was an icon. He's even bigger now, but there's also this grassroots spread of people that have done a huge amount of fundraising for him already. And it is just a matter of saying, would you help? And suddenly, boom, these little, I call them starbursts like this. I like to think of the celebrities are going down like that and saying, can you help? Can you join? And underneath, you get these little pop, and communities will come on board. And that seems to be the way it's built, and it's as I said earlier, it's just been a real buzz to be involved with this unbelievable monster that's taken over my life. And as you said at the beginning, tomorrow, sign a friend Friday. Let's double up. If everyone taking part can sign one other person, then we can go from having £500,000 to having £1 million to help find treatments for MND. That's the way I see it. This is just money going straight into research for MND, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a good cause. And if you look in the comments, we've got coming in from Hoyk, we've got hometown of Stow, we've got Orkney, we've got Eilidh, we've got Fife, we've got Golspie, we've got Pencaitland, we got Englandshire. Where's Harry? Don't know. No, you're misplaced, Harry. You're misplaced. But thank you for joining us. Rob, have you got one last rallying call before I let you disappear and enjoy the rest of the evening and probably a dip in the sea and call to cool yourself off?
Not really. I think we've said it all. Just pushing again. If everyone can get people signed up tomorrow, one person from everyone, and there's a lot of inertia out there. You come across people who said, "Oh, I've signed up." You think, "Geez, thought you signed up weeks ago." But we're overcoming inertia. But it's just getting that momentum, and it's we've got great momentum at the moment. And if everyone could just double up, £1 million. And all the other guests you're going to see tonight, all the other management, they will love it if we hit £1 million, because I will stop pestering them all the time. I'm the biggest nag at the moment. I'm constantly at people, do this, do that, do a video. Do you know anyone in the Spice Girls? I'm putting that out. Do you know anyone in the Spice Girls? Because I think the exiles, they need a Spice Girl, I reckon. So, but enjoy tonight. Thanks for having me on, Bruce. Thanks for hosting this, and enjoy your time with the ladies.
Oh, will I ever. Rob, brilliant to see you. Thank you, sir, and thank you for all you've done. You are the raconteur extraordinaire, so thank you very much. Rob Wainwright can take his leave and go and cool himself down, and I have got no doubt he will find some liquid refreshment somewhere. We've got heaps of people. Great to see Jamie Syme in Tyree. We've got Aberdeenshire. We've got the Moffat Rams. Go on, Cammy Little with the Moffat Rams. Good guys. And McMurray. Good on you, Paul, from McMurray. So, first guest. Now, how much pressure is the boy under when you've got 3 sport presenting superstars, like royalty, on? So, no pressure. But last week was a whole load of rugby players and Davy the Dafty, like, but this is pressure. This is pressure. So let's bring on our Glasgow representative. She is all over the TV. She is magnetic. There, look at the glitter. Look at the glamour. Emma Dodds, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's lovely to be here. I thought I'd make the effort. This is the closest I've come to a night out in quite some time.
Well, you have made the effort and it has hit the mark. You look spectacular. Now, before we get started, I need to know some facts about Emma Dodds because I'm not sure I believe half of this stuff.
Uh-oh.
You got a basketball scholarship to America.
That is correct. You've done your research. Yeah,
that is correct. How tall are you, Emma Dodds?
I'm not that tall. I'm just over 5'6". Yeah, it might actually explain why I don't have a career in the WNBA. But yeah, I had a basketball scholarship, but I didn't actually go because I got a job working at Radio Clyde. I was on a gap year, and I was due to go and do journalism and basketball in Boston, and well, I got a job, and somebody left Radio Clyde, and so I had this job, and I was sort of weighing up. Should I go? Should I stay? And yeah, I ended up staying, and here we are.
And here
Team
we
captain
are.
for Doddie Gump.
And you've never been happier.
I'm loving it. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. It's so good to have you as part of it. You're such a positive person. Do you know what I loved? Although last week you were probably freezing in all sorts of places last week with Big Jim and Rory and Doogie Vipod who's tuned in, but the whole Premier Sports team were all doddied up.
Yeah, it was brilliant, actually. And it was really nice to see everybody face to face because we've obviously been having banter on social media. We've been having banter on the text messaging groups, etc. But to have us all there, and obviously from all the different teams, you know, Kelly Brown, who's our team captain, was in the Warriors dressing room. We had our vice captain, Al Kellick, with us. Myself, Rory Hamilton, was on comms. He's a team member for Team Glasgow. And then Rory Lawson, of course, was there. Doogie Vipond. I mean, the sledging was second to none, really. I mean, Chris Patterson was there and was literally like, what is going on? Big Jim as well from the Exiles. And I mean, before we went on air, we didn't really talk about the 1872 Cup. We talked about who was doing well in this.
It was just Doddie all over the place. I was kind of thinking, right, this is finished right now. Start doing some laps. That would have warmed a lot of you up. It was.
If I hadn't already done my exercise that day, I would have been out on that pitch.
Yeah, I'm a one a day kind of guy as well. I don't like to overstretch myself, you know. So Emma, the thing I'm really interested in, forget the social media nonsense because that's the public face. What's going on WhatsApp? What is your WhatsApp chat like?
Well, we got our new chairman unveiled today, didn't we? Kenny Logan is now part of Team Glasgow, so that's a fantastic addition to our team. And well, we've just been slagging off all the other teams, really, haven't we? Because everybody knows, and I'm sorry for anyone on the other teams, but we all know that Team Glasgow is the superior team, albeit not perhaps in numbers, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And, you know, you mentioned Gerard Butler, we've got him, we've got John Smith, you know, we've got Jenny Faulkner, we've got a lot of people at high levels that I think are doing a pretty good job and are doing a great job of getting the miles in. And then obviously we've got everyone else who is doing a phenomenal job of putting the miles in. I mean, it's been amazing to see all the, you know, the schools getting involved, some of the universities, some of the professional clubs, some of the amateur rugby and football clubs, hockey clubs, everybody's buying into this. And so really on the private WhatsApp, I mean, I'm not going to disclose information here. You know, I don't want to get anyone in any bother, but yeah, let's just say it'll stay in-house, but we know who's boss in this one.
We know who's boss. Well, it's I've enjoyed that bit, putting together Ali McCoist and Al Kellock, and
I
then
forgot Ali McCoist.
How can you forget Ali McCoist?
I'm sure he'll never let me live this one down. Super Ali, of course.
He's not watching. There's no way he's watching. He's a footballer. Who knows what he's up to. Although he'll not be in Dubai because he's Rangers and no Celtic. But he's some boy. I'm so pleased to see such a wide range of people involved and having that banter. Now, how have you been racking up? Because here we go. You ski, you golf, you do all sorts of stuff. How are you racking up your miles?
Mostly walking, running, and on the bike. I have a walk bike in the house. Unfortunately, not a walk bike that I can connect to the Zwift sessions that are happening. I say unfortunately, I'm not really sure. I would definitely be right at the back if I was on those. So it's not that unfortunate, but I've been left to my own devices on that. But what it does mean is obviously when the weather's not been so bad, and not been so good, that I've been able to still at least jump on the bike. And if time's short, you can still get a little workout in. So that's been brilliant. But I live in Argyll where the hills are incredible. I've not been able to go too far up them actually at the moment because there's so much snow for the time being, but it's really not been a hardship. It really hasn't. But again, I just take my hat off to everyone who's been braving it because we actually haven't really had that much snow here. We've had a bit of ice, but not so much snow. But everyone, who's pounding the streets in the cities and where snowy, icy pavements. I mean, I know Eve Muirhead's on next. I mean, she really does have an advantage over all of us because these are her ideal conditions, aren't they? Out there on the ice. This is where she's going to come into her own. But I just mean, it's been a phenomenal response. So yeah, I've been getting out where I can do, and on the bike and up the hill, which it's been lovely. I like to do it anyway, but I've definitely had an extra motivation knowing that it's going to a much bigger cause. Do you know what I mean? It's not just me getting off my lazy bum and going and sitting on a bike. It's like, okay, no, actually these miles count. And obviously I want to win, albeit it's looking unlikely, but I want to win still.
Of course, everybody wants to win. Now, you mentioned Eve. Now, I'm not going to lie. Do you know Eve? How well do you know Eve?
No, I mean, I've worked at Winter Olympics before. I've followed her career intricately. I know she's a brilliant golfer. There's definitely been some crossovers, but I can't proclaim to know her personally very well.
There's a big bit of me scared. She's the ice queen.
You said it.
I'm trying to work out if she's Anna or Elsa. Is she going to be the nice one, or is she going to zap me? I'm a little bit.
Or rather, you than me finding out.
I know. I have to admit, I'm a little bit scared. Now, you've mentioned some of the big names, but we've had so many people backing this on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just all over the show. I mean, I'm in the big smoke here, and although we're not allowed to go very far, but it's amazing. You go, he's got a Doddie. Is that South or is that North America? So who's impressed you? Who have you been keeping an eye on social media?
Oh, I mean, there's been so many, and I think, as I touched on a minute ago, the snowy scenes, the icy scenes that people have been able to capture now on camera have been absolutely amazing, haven't they? I mean, there's been some gorgeous sunrises, sunsets, snowy fields. We've seen horses, we've seen, other sorts of farm animals out there people are encountering on their walks. I mean, it's amazing to see, but I have to say there's been a few further flung destinations as well that have really caught my eye, because that is one of the best things about this challenge. You don't just have to be in the UK. There's people all over the world with connections to Doddie, connections to Scotland, supporting this, and to see their pictures, have been absolutely phenomenal. It's been brilliant. I love it.
Now we've our great supporters at Genius have
cheers.
there you go. Oh, love the glass. The supporters at Genius are giving a 12-pack to someone selected. So talk us through who your winner is.
Well, like I said, there was so many contenders for this, and honestly, thank you so much to everybody who's been out there repping Team Glasgow, because it's amazing. But I think it might be a bit of jealousy, actually, purely from the fact that Mary McInnes is out there in Hong Kong. There she is next to the Hong Kong rugby stadium. Another post of hers was up a hill on the outskirts of Hong Kong. And some of the scenery that she is posting in her photographs has been absolutely fantastic. Now, I know there's a case of Genius up for grabs. I'm not sure how Charlie feels about shipping it to Hong Kong. Yes. Maybe Mary's got some relatives here in Scotland that can take it in. But I thought, you know what? Mary's doing some great work there. She's running, I think, for most of her contributions to Doddie Aid. So yeah, I mean, look at the skyline there.
Emma,
Emma's-
you
Can't
don't
imagine.
know, but I used to live in Hong Kong.
Oh,
So
amazing.
you putting that picture up is yes, it's a little bit emotional. And you're right.
Yeah.
I've seen Mary's stuff, and she is getting out and about, and that view over Hong Kong Island across the Chim Sa Choi is an absolute stoter. And that
It's a belter, isn't
stadium
it? Mhm.
over her left shoulder is a real happy place. And Kelly Brown there with Snood on. Kelly and I have maybe got a story to tell one day about the South Stand there, but we'll leave that.
Nice.
We'll leave that just now.
I'll hold you to that, Bruce.
Doddie actually has a belted story of being there that I think we'll have to get either him or Gary Armstrong to come on and tell when they were out at one of the dinners in Hong Kong. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
So well done to Mary. You're going to get maybe a tin. Maybe somebody here will send you one
label.
can out. Although in Hong Kong, quite often people get their shipment of Iron Brew and Tunnock's tea cake sent out. So we'll just add the genius to
Put it in the care pack.
So Emma, you guys, Glasgow, as well as your Spartan Warrior, have got 262,678 miles. That's just, it's big, isn't it? That's a big number.
It's absolutely huge. And you think we're only on, what are we on today? I mean, forgive me for losing track of the days, the 14th of January. There's still so much time left. Oh, we've got the same again and some. And so that's why it's a brilliant initiative as well, the Sign a Friend on Friday that we're obviously doing tomorrow. And so if we can just think about it, if we can all just add one person, that tally can be doubled, the money raised can be doubled. But, I have to say, the one thing I've massively enjoyed about this is the sledging, is the banter, is the constant slagging off. I think it's why we all love sport. It's why we're all here. It's part and parcel of everyday life. And how many times have you maybe signed up to try and raise money for an initiative that, you've had to do it on your own, but this, we're all in it together. I mean, even the other teams, there's one common goal. We're fighting for bragging rights, but there's one common goal. And I think I speak for everybody on this, that there is a common shared love for Doddie as well. Yeah, so when you add all of these things into the mix, it's a win-win for everybody. Of course, we all want to win individually for our teams, which Glasgow will do because there's time yet to pull this back. But for those who don't win, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It's all going money for a good cause. And you tried your best.
Yes, you tried your best. Well done. I love it. Now, Emma, I've got two questions for you. The first one is, because I'm a wee bit scared, will you stay for a wee while when Eve comes on?
I've got your back, Bruce. Don't
right,
worry.
okay, right. Thank you. So you'll do that. Now, the second thing is, you are a presenter of vast amount of experience, Olympics, rugby, got, the whole shooting match. You've got it all. We've been in Dubai, How did I do?
10 out of 10.
Yes!
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes!
I mean, the blazer and the headband alone, you'd have passed, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Now, Emma, I'm not sure if it's too early to tell, but I think you're my favourite. So...
I'll drink to that, Bruce. Remember who your friends are, Team Glasgow.
Yes. Well, without any further ado, it's like, if you think about curling in this country, you think about Eve Muirhead. Absolutely no question. Olympian. Let's bring in Eve Muirhead and let's see. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Come on, how can you be scared of me?
Because sometimes they call you like the Ice Maiden, and I'm just a wee bit worried that you're going to, like, I don't know. I just don't know.
No, I'm soft, really.
You're soft, really. And Emma's already mentioned it. You're a phenomenal golfer.
Well, I try to sometimes.
No, didn't give me that rubbish. Didn't give me that rubbish, right? Olympian Eve Muirhead, the youngest skip, the da-da-da-da-da. You're a scratch golfer. You don't try. That's impressive.
Well, I'm a fair weather golfer, I would say, nowadays. So not that often in Scotland, But yeah, like I do play a little bit when I can. But as I say, the sun's got to be out and it's got to be warm.
It sort of puts our sporting prowess to shame, this, doesn't it, Bruce?
Well, I've not got any. I've not got any sporting prowess. You had a basketball scholarship that you didn't bother going to.
Yeah.
And we've got Eve Muirhead. And not only have we got Eve Muirhead, Ice Maiden, who is all those things, an Olympian, she's also part of Northern Midlands, who
Midlands.
Let's be straight here. Eve, you lot are smashing this.
We are, aren't we? It's by quite a little bit, I must admit. And as Emma said as well, there's a long time to go, and that can only get better, can't it? The lead can only get more.
So, but before we let Emma go, Eve, because I now feel confident enough that I'm going to be okay, because you do seem quite nice.
Oh, thank you.
What advice can you give Emma to make Glasgow better?
Chasing
Because the North and Midlands are just unreal.
Well, it's a tricky one, like any advice I have is going to go to North and Midlands. So you just got to keep chasing the tail, Glasgow. Keep chasing the tail.
It's the voice of experience speaking there, isn't it? Give nothing away. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. Come on, Glasgow, we can do this.
You can't do it now, Emma. We're going to let you go because I'll let everybody into a secret. Emma asked if she could be first because she's got a 12-pack of Genius. So do you want to be on first so she could get going?
Getting through it. I'll be trolling you all at the end.
Emma, brilliant to see you. Thank you for coming. So good. And go Team Glasgow. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the night. Great work. Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
see you, Emma.
Bye. Okay, I think we're going to be okay. I'm not quite as scared as I was before.
Feeling safe. You're feeling safe.
I'm feeling a little bit safer. Now, I'm looking at the stats here. North and Midlands have got 7,167 members. They have raised 162 grand and walked 449,000 miles. What is going on?
Well, North and Midlands all the way, all these people supporting it's fantastic. And I think all of the North and Midlands team, like as Emma was saying there's a lot of bragging going on behind the scenes, but we're all pretty competitive. So second place is no good for anyone. So we want to come first.
And you've also got a Jedi Knight. Like when you saw Ewan McGregor being on, you must have thought, right, it's in the bag. This is in the bag.
Well, definitely. When you've got Ewan McGregor, it's always going to be in the bag, isn't it? Like how good was that? Like how well is Doddie doing when you get people like Ewan McGregor signing up? And it's phenomenal. And all we can do is get better, and all we can do is raise even more money and really, really keep those miles going.
There is just an unbelievable confidence in your voice at the moment.
Well, I'm an athlete. I'm competitive.
Of course you are, and you're a mile in front, so it's pretty good just looking over your shoulder, looking at everybody else, as you said,
and waving to them.
Tail. So how are you racking up your miles?
A bit of everything, to be honest. I was actually wondering whether my sliding would count as miles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you
Get
think?
in there. 100%.
Because so far in January, I was looking, I've already done about 600 slides of throwing stones just in January. So that'll definitely get added on. So that'll at least double.
You should definitely do that. I count running up the stairs to get my kids when they've got their headphones in. So I've been counting that.
Well, I've been doing a bit of rowing. I've got a ski erg machine. I've been doing a bit of that, a bit on the bike. I actually did a bit of running round about kind of New Year, start of January when the weather was okay. So yeah, plenty of ways to rack up miles, and I'm doing that every single day. So got to keep the miles coming.
Now, I'm a PE teacher, which to most people just means I blow a whistle and I throw a beanbag. Can you describe your job in those terms? So I blow a whistle and I throw a beanbag. What do you do for a living, Eve Muirhead?
I slide a stone to some rings.
You slide a stone to some. I just like before you said I've been chucking some stones. I thought.
Oh well, to be fair, I do use that term quite often. I'm going to chuck some stones. I remember using it once, and someone's like, "Do you not mean precisionally place some stones?" And I was like, "Yes." Of course.
Yes. You go last. You chuck them. We've got a question in for Glenn McLennan, who I've already mentioned, and I think he wants another mention up in Orkney. Now, Glenn is quite the man in Orkney, Eve. Let me tell you, he's very small, but he's a big personality. And he's saying, "Who are you going to get to sign up? Have you got the Spice Girls numbers?"
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, neither have I. Which seems shocking, but I've not got them either.
I thought you would. I thought you'd at least the Sporty Spice, but
well, nah. Liverpool fan, yeah, maybe. So have you got? Who are you going to get to sign up tomorrow? Because tomorrow is the sort of bring a friend.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get the rest of my team to sign up tomorrow if I can. So that's going to be another 3. I managed to persuade a few of the other athletes, the curlers, the other day. So. if I can get at least half of the curlers that curl in the National Curling Academy in Stirling signed up, that's going to be at least another 10, 15. So big job for me tomorrow, but I'm on it.
Nice. But I reckon the Ice Maiden just walks in and just goes, and they'll just do as they're told, surely.
I wish it was like that. Unfortunately not. It's the opposite. I get told what to do.
No chance. I do not believe that for a second. Now, you're also a phenomenal bagpiper. So we've got Olympian, we've got scratch golfer, and now we're adding World Championship bagpiper. Are we going to get to see that on social media? Can we see you going for a walk and rack up a mile while you're blowing the bagpipes?
Well, there is word of that. So watch this space. Watch this space.
Would you last week? Where there was a wee mention last week. There was a. Obviously we can't see each other at the moment, but there was a let's have something where we can all gather and do some miles somewhere, and then when they cross the finish line, everybody's there. Would you be up for that?
I would, of course. Like I'm up to do anything for this challenge. Like I think it's such a fantastic cause. I actually know Doddie quite well. Funny story, I've played a couple pro-am golf days with him, and we decided one night after a few beverages, it has to be said, we're going to have a Scotland v England scrum in the bar. So I had Doddie on one side, and I'm here, and we're taking on the English in this scrum. So when any rugby players need someone to scrum, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, well, there's a quick. Have you ever played rugby?
No,
you've done everything else.
No, I haven't played rugby. No, unfortunately, I reckon I could.
What
I could be okay, but
what position would you play?
Hooker.
See, I reckon give you 3 months, you'll probably be a Scotland international. Like if you decided, right, I'm going to go for it, then I reckon 3 months tops.
Do you reckon?
100%. You can chuck a stone, you can chuck a rugby ball.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah. No,
I
think it's harder than it looks.
Nah, are you kidding me on? Have you seen some of these jokers that play it?
Yeah.
What's the chat like amongst your curling team? Are they into it? Do they get it? Are they wondering what the hell you're up to?
No, like they definitely get it. The team are all very, very much into kind of keeping a healthy lifestyle. Of course, we've got to do a lot of training away from the ice as well. Like we've got to keep fit. So, what's better way than to use those miles that they're racking up to go towards this great cause. So. Anything for charity, of course, everyone looks at it and knows it's something great to do. So as a team, we're definitely gonna get behind it. And as I say, I'm gonna be persuading them tomorrow to definitely sign up.
Nice. Well, the thing I like, we look at the team formations, and let's face it, there's some eligibility criteria that makes World Rugby look absolutely ridiculous. But at least you are proper North and Midlands.
I am. I'm a Blair Athol born and bred girl, so yeah. I am.
So you wear the snood with pride.
I do. Excellent. I'm actually going to wear it tomorrow. I'm going to wear it tomorrow when I'm on ice.
Yeah, I love that. I'm on ice. I love that. So lots of people are getting behind it. You've got a Jedi Knight. You've got Johnny Barclay, Dougie Vipon's in there. It's all happening. But there have been lots of people getting involved. And you also have a winner to choose to get a 12-pack of Genius through the post. So who is your winner, Eve?
Well, I've had so many people that have kind of tagged me in different photos and things, and also for North and Midlands.
I have to apologise for that, Eve. I've got a lot of time on my hands.
I know, running up the stairs and things. I wasn't sure about them though.
Oh, careful.
Yeah, so like all these are motivational pictures and things for myself, but the winner that I chose was Katie Loudon. She's put in a fantastic job. And I think like the pictures are just so scenic, and this was before the snow was coming, and I know now that even that there is snow, she's still out there getting the miles in. And I was speaking to her, just messaging back and forward, and we were saying like when you've got something motivational to go towards, it makes you push yourself even more. So to see that is just fantastic.
we've seen a lot of Scotland, well, and other places, because we just saw Emma picked. I think Emma's cruising for a bit of an invite to Hong Kong. Actually,
I know. I did think
like,
that. It
come
looked
on,
pretty
Emma.
nice, though.
We could all tell what you were up to there. It wasn't well hidden, but we've seen so much, and this lockdown. Well, the lockdowns have meant people have got out and about, haven't they? And look at that. I mean, Scotland is a beautiful place, isn't it?
I know. I think sometimes we all take it pretty for granted that we live in such a fantastic country, and we're all moaning, or I know I am, how I need a holiday just now because everything that's going on. But really, like on your doorstep, you've got some fantastic views. You've got some fantastic parts of Scotland that are just stunning to go to. So yeah, look at those pictures. Like saying that's not often you get a sky like that in Scotland. That's probably what attracted me to it a little bit more.
It's so good. So you're obviously sounding really positive about this whole thing, Eve, and it's brilliant to have somebody like you involved and in a leadership role as well. So have you had to kick ass anywhere? Have you had to tell people to get out and about, or has it been pretty straightforward being North and Midlands team?
Very straightforward North and Midlands. They just do exactly what they're told every single day. Just keeping the miles going, keeping people getting signed up, and we're just slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the distance from first and second.
The numbers are unreal. Well,
they are. It's unbelievable.
We're going to share the screen. We're going to bring in the godmother. She is the boss. Talk about being scared about you being the Ice Maiden. Like Jill Douglas, like she is like she's the main lady. She's the brain. Have you been interviewed by Jill before?
Do you know what? I don't think I have. No.
Have you been interviewed by Emma or Eilidh, who's on later?
I have Eilidh a few times, yes, and I think I had by Emma at the Olympics, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
It's very difficult when you're so high profile, Eve, to remember all the people you've spoken to. I mean, it must be terrible. But we're going to bring in Jill because I think you need to pass on some help to the south. Hello, Jill Douglas.
Evening.
Now tell me the truth. Is he allowed to play on the Xbox at 8:00? Did you allow that to happen?
The Xbox is out of bounds. I tell you what, if I could clock miles up for the amount of minutes they've had on that flipping Xbox, we'd be smashing it.
It is so good to see you, Jill. How are you?
I'm really well, and lovely to see you as well, Bruce, and lovely to see you, Eve. And yeah, I don't think we have properly. No, I don't think I have interviewed you. I've met you, I think, but it's always that pesky Hazel Irvine that gets in front of me at the Winter Olympics. I tend to be busy with Six Nations rugby when the Winter Olympics are on, so I don't do them.
Time, isn't it?
Usually at the same time, but watch you with interest, of course, and always I'm always rooting for you and wishing you well. But it's fantastic to have your support here doing Doddie Aid. You really are leading the charge. Well done, Skip.
Thank you. Thanks.
Jill, how good is it to have all these people involved? Like we've got a Jedi Knight, we've got a Spartan, we've got Eve Muirhead, who's good at everything. We've got Emma Dodds. It's just off the chart, the engagement, isn't it?
It is, and I think, as Rob said at the beginning, it's fantastic to have Ewan McGregor's. Wow, Gerard Butler. I'm hanging on for Hugh Jackman and Daniel Craig. Let's be honest.
Hey, join the queue for Hugh Jackman. Join the queue.
He's mine. Sorry. Apart from there is that restraining order, so I might be really careful there. But I think it is brilliant to have people supporting us. But I think what I've been impressed with is just the number of people who've just got on board. Just people who've been captured the imagination of the whole spirit of Doddie Aid, and I think we just hit that sweet spot where people were trying to think of things they could do in January, wanted to get out and be active. We're in lockdown, so there's very little you can do in groups, so you tend to be reasonably isolated and trying to do things on your own. And certainly we're limited here. You can only go out for once a day, and you have to be very careful about where you go and make sure you do it within the guidelines and the restrictions, absolutely. But I think it just gave people a focus and an opportunity to get behind something, and it really has flown. And I mean, fair play to Rob and the team and everybody that's been involved. whether it be Sir Chris Hoy putting on the Swift Ride at the weekend, or people like yourself getting behind it. Sean Phelan, who's hosting our lovely event tonight.
We love Sean.
People like there's so many people that have supported what we're doing. Brian at the cycle chairs. Brian is busy with the snoods. So listen, there's a load of people made it work, but we really couldn't do it without our influencers and our captains and our team management who are driving it forward.
And have you got any fighting talk for Eve before we let her go and enjoy her tea?
I think, let the best team win. I think I'm a great fan of horse racing, so we're just gently coming up on the rails, and there's 2 or 3 hurdles to go before we get to that finishing line. And we are stairs. You might have just gone a bit hard, a bit too early.
We've gone hard early.
Listen, I think we've got a few more tricks up our sleeve, and I think also we've got a great opportunity to sign a friend up tomorrow as well. But
I think that would be great.
But I think North and Mid have certainly led the way and have really raised the bar. So we kind of look to you and think, well, if you guys can do it, we'll get on board. I have to say, North and Midlands, hang on a minute. 90% of the people you fellas have signed up have never been anywhere near the North and Midlands, if you don't mind me saying. So,
do you know what I love there, though, Jill? You started fighting talk, and Eve did this. Oh, really?
Yep.
The arms folded, and it was like, oh, really? Is that who it's going to be? So I think we fired her up. Eve Muirhead, Ice Queen, it is so nice to see you. Thank you very much for all your support.
Yes,
and
thank you for having me.
Team North and Mids. Thanks, Eve.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, boss lady, how on earth are you?
I'm really good, thanks. I've got my Genius standing by, which is going to be my prize at the end of Doddie, because I'm on dry January. So I'm trying to behave myself. I've got a rather boring glass of something here, but I've got my Genius standing by for when I'm allowed a wee snifter. I'm really good, thank you. And for those that maybe haven't looked closely at the foundation and maybe don't know how we operate on a day-to-day basis, I run the My Name's Doddie Foundation on behalf of the trustees, and I've got a fantastic team of people that I work with. And so when Rob suggested this in December, I said, yeah, that's great, Rob. See how it goes. Make it nice and simple, not too complicated, and let's just, have a bit of fun. And here we are, sort of 14th of January, and I'm just sitting back in awe, and I'm absolutely blown away by everybody's everybody's efforts. The engagement has been amazing, and we're just so thankful. What a way to kick off 2021. We couldn't have asked for more. We've had brilliant support since we started 3 years ago, and we've got great plans going forward. But this has just been the most amazing gift to start our year. I can't thank everybody enough.
And how's the big man? Because obviously he's your team manager, so you must be in contact with him often. How is Doddie just now?
He's the boss. Never mind, he's the team captain. He is the governor. And you can take it, by the way, all these fancy dance people who've got, we've got, Gerard Butler, we've got, a Jedi Knight. We've got Doddie.
Exactly. Game's over.
Team South.
Exactly.
Team South. Come on. If you don't know which team to join.
That's no fair teams. You've got Doddie Weir.
I'm going to use a really brilliant Scottish word now, swithering. If you're swithering on which team to join because you don't have any natural affiliation to any of these districts. By the way, when was Stirling in Glasgow? I didn't even realise that, but never mind.
It's making World Rugby's eligibility just look ridiculous.
It's a joke. Anyway, Doddie is in fine fettle, and he's really excited and fired up by this. And of course, he's so flipping competitive. So as soon as he saw North and Midlands getting their noses in front, he's like, "Come on, what are we going to do about this?" So he's great, and I think he's just loving the way that everybody's getting behind this, because he's absolutely passionate about what we're trying to do. And we'll talk more. Perhaps I'll get in touch with everybody once we get into February. Everybody that's taken part, and just give them a real idea of how we will invest these amazingly huge sums of money that we're raising, because we have got a plan for that, and we're really committed to what we're trying to do. And Doddie drives that every day. So listen, we're extremely appreciative of that. But I should say he is in fine form and wishing us all well. And he's not putting in the miles himself, but except he does get into that flipping tractor of his. So
I loved watching the Pride of Scotland Awards when he comes round the corner and he just said, "I hate surprises." And Gary stood there with a wee trophy for him.
I listen. You know Doddie well, Bruce. He doesn't like surprises. I said to them when they were planning it, I went, he doesn't like surprises. This will not play well for you.
Yeah.
But
do you know the bit that cracks me up about that? Doddie hates surprises, but you've seen him on stage many times, as have I. He loves to spring them on other people.
He certainly does. He certainly does. I keep thinking that his big surprise is going to be suddenly going to just say, "Oh, Jill, yeah. I was talking to Daniel Craig, and he's just mad keen to get involved." But he'll only do it if you're there to help him.
Oh yeah, well that could happen. Look at how this thing is going. That is not beyond the realms of possibility. There is still the chance that Daniel Craig will need Jill Douglas to hold his hand up a wee hill somewhere.
Socially distanced, but
socially, yeah. Last week we had Captain Rory Lawson on. Now, Rory claimed he was half Hoik. Now, the pelters that have been flying since last week about half Hoik, Roddy Deans, who you'll know very well, Roddy wasn't happy with the whole half Hoik thing. Davy Oliver is claiming that I must be quarter Hoik if Rory Lawson is half Hoik. Now, you're proper Hoik. What's going on in the grey old tune to get behind Doddie?
Well, I think people are, they're signing up. I get lots of messages from people, and I've seen some great images from people who've signed up to support the South and Hoik. Well, I am 100% Hoik. Make no mistake about that. My brother was Hoik Cornet. My dad was acting Bither.
Oh, some boy.
Dad and I have both been chief guest at Hoik Cornet. I'm very proud of that. So I think that like everybody in the Borders, they're really getting behind it. In fact, I'm going to let you now into this. This has made me laugh today. Wait a minute, if I can find it on my phone. I got this email earlier today, and I don't know if I should tell you the lady's name, but anyway, listen to this. "Hi, I've just been out for a short walk. However, it recorded 3,834.88 miles instead of 0.75 miles. How can I remove it from my app?" I carefully said, "Is it for the South?" Yes. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah,
Don't you worry about that.
It'll be fine.
Anyway, Leslie, well done. I'm loving your effort. She said she got an awful fright. We have explained to her that we can take the numbers away, but 3,834 miles, that's a hell of a long way.
That is, well, I'm just looking at your stats here. That has bumped them up significantly, so that's pretty good.
I think we've sorted it out now.
Now, I'm in a minority, which is often the case in my house, living with three women. But my wife signed up for Edinburgh, born, in Gala, lived behind the fire station, went to Gala Academy, signed up for Edinburgh, and she signed Maisie and Katie up for Edinburgh, and I'm the South, so it's 3 against 1.
I don't get that.
Just under so much pressure. It's tough.
Who would even? Well, I suppose if you're from Gala, really anywhere's going to be.
This is
an improvement.
Don't ostracise anybody. We need everybody. We need the Pales involved.
We do need Gala. We do need Gala. But no, listen. As long as people are signing up, and we'll have a bit of fun and a bit of competition between the districts. But I think, as they say, rugby will be the winner. It's the foundation we're all trying to support and what we're trying to do. And as I said before, we've got some big plans over the next 5 to 10 years. We've got a big strategy document we're going to share with everybody in February. We've been working for the last few months on just what we want to do going forward, what our vision is, how we're going to achieve that, and we're going to share that with everybody widely in the next few weeks. Just to recap, we are now 3 years old. £5.8 million has been invested by the foundation in research into MND. And we've given £1 million to families and people living with motor neuron disease. So, we are making a difference. We are now part of that amazing MND community. We've got a lot going on, and we'd never have been able to do this without this incredible swell of support that's been there right from the beginning. And it just is demonstrated by what everybody's been doing over the last few weeks. So we've got big plans. We're definitely seeing movement in the research community. I think there's definitely reasons to be optimistic. There's momentum, and there's a lot of science behind that momentum. So we're excited by what the future might bring. But as I say, we've got plans that we'll share with you. But we're certainly we appreciate every pound that we raise is really, really important. People go to a lot of trouble to raise the funds for us, and we don't take it for granted. It's a massive responsibility to invest it wisely, and we promise that we will do that.
And you're doing a fantastic job, Jill. And the thing that's grabbed me, that money is just crazy in such a short space of time. But if you look at how it's been raised, you've got John Davidson rows the Atlantic on his own. You've got Doddie, which has people going out for a walk, logging miles, getting competitive, feeling part of a team in what is the strangest situation we've ever lived through. You've got people holding dinners and bake sales and auctions and fire pits being auctioned. I mean, you've got 5p for every can of this going to Doddie. And it's just that love for the big man and the cause. It is just off the chart, isn't it?
I think it's because, though, yes, Doddie's raised the profile of motor neuron disease, and people have seen what he's trying to achieve, which is, find some meaningful treatments for motor neuron disease. Nothing has been done. There's been nothing come to market for or been available to patients for such a long time, other than one drug that really doesn't do an awful lot to help. So find some meaningful treatments. Give patients access to clinical trials. Invest in the research that will allow patients to feel they're part of a trial, but also find a cure ultimately. That's our vision, a world without MND. But I think the thing is, people because of the MND is much a bigger disease than we actually think. People think, it's a small number of people suffer from MND, because there's only a few people alive with it, because you die quite quickly after you're diagnosed. So 1 in 300 people will be diagnosed with MND in their lifetime. It's a big number. It's very similar to MS, for instance, in terms of numbers, but people don't live very long with it. That's why I think the number of people involved in this, so many of you have been touched by family members, friends, people who've suffered from MND. It does touch a lot of people, and that we see that from the people that get in touch with us every day. But also, I think people recognise it as being just such a brutal disease that they want to see something done to help. And the fact that Doddie is able to lead that charge, along with some other amazing people, then people feel they want to get on board, and I can't thank them enough for taking the time to do that.
And you've known Doddie for a very long time. You knew Doddie when he was young and daft, and now you know him when he's old and daft. You knew him as a British Lion. You've known him as an after-dinner speaker. You've known him as your husband's best mate. It's so inspiring to see how positive he is and how motivated he is to do something good for everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was laughing when Eve was talking about the golf day and how they started strumming afterwards. I can remember being at a Steve Cram golf day a while ago. And
why is Steve Cram not involved in this? Think how far he could go.
Andy's missus, yes, let's get them on.
Get
they're
Curbs
definitely
in.
south. They're definitely Ali Curbs. They're definitely south.
Anyway, hang on. She's not even Scottish, and she ran for Scotland. That one's a piece of nonsense.
I'll get them on board. Steve Smith, the high jumper, was there, and we're all in the bar afterwards. And Doddie and Carl thought it'd be a good idea to start doing the high jump, and he was teaching them how to do the Fosbury flip in the hotel by piling a load of cushions off the sofas in a corner. If you think watching Doddie run is funny, you want to watch him try and do a Fosbury flip. I've never seen anything like it, nor had anybody else in the room, nor had Steve Smith, frankly. But no, he's an absolute tour de force. He drives us forward every day. And I'll tell you something, he asks us a lot of difficult questions. He holds us to account all the time. He has brilliant ideas. And he's so positive, and he spends a huge amount of time engaging with other people who are living with MND and supporting them and helping them. But he is just so positive all the time, and that's why he makes anytime you think, I can't believe there's another 500 emails asking me where their snoot is. Actually, why are we doing it? We're doing it because he wants us to do it, and I think that's the key thing, and that's why everybody's pulled on their trainers or got outside in the cold and wet and decided to go for a walk or get on their bikes. It's because we want to help.
Oh, it's so good. And the South numbers are decent, but North and Midlands are a little bit scary. They are going to take.
There's not that many people living in the North and Midlands. Let's be absolutely honest here.
They've got 7,167 members.
That's brilliant. I have to say, fair play to them. Fair play. We have got 5,477.
Well, you need to refresh your page because I've got 78 here, so somebody's just signed up.
Come on, Team South.
That's since you've been on the screen. They've signed up for Team South,
and we're gonna get our sign up a friend on a Friday tomorrow, and I think it could be any Friday, any day of the week. But let's get some more people involved tomorrow, because some people don't need an excuse to get out and about, and a lot of people take exercise regularly anyway. But sometimes January, it's a bit dark and it's a bit miserable. It's just that little bit of added motivation to get out and do something, I think. And so it's certainly made me, when sometimes I look at it, I think, oh God, do I really want to go out there? But then you do it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I actually found a box of M&S, really nice chocolate truffles last night when I was tidying out the cupboards. I didn't bother going for a walk. I just ate them. But I will. I'll promise I'll do something else. Now, Jill, I love chatting to you. I could chat to you for a very long time, but you have also chosen a winner for a 12-pack, of Genius to be sent to them. So who have you chosen?
Listen, I could have picked many people and some amazing pictures, and I'm rather tempted to have picked Leslie, who's completed 3,800 miles today on her walk. She really, if she sent me a photo, she was quids in.
I feel sorry for her dog. Her dog's knackered.
If Leslie sends me a photo, her name's Leslie Robertson, I'm just going to say it, right? If she sends me a photo, I will make sure she gets some Genius beer in the post. Yes. But there's the other person that I want to give a big shout out to, and you mentioned John Davidson, and he had his son on the road. Did you see him?
Yeah,
little Lockie he was rowing away, and that made me chuckle, because John is a brilliant supporter. And before I mention who my winner is, the other thing I want to mention is we've got a team rowing the Atlantic now, and they're only, let me check, they are about 170 nautical miles from finishing in Antigua. They set off on the 12th of December from the Canary Islands, and they will be there hopefully on Saturday morning. And they are a brilliant team. They're called On Shoulders of Giants, and they are the first in their class. They're the second boat to finish. They're the first 4, and they're behind a team that have won it numerous times. One of the guys in the winning boat holds the record for crossing the Atlantic in a rowing boat. So they are phenomenal. So keep an eye out for them, because I think anybody who can get on a boat and row across the Atlantic deserves a massive shout out. So they are fantastic.
And John Davidson is currently sitting at home going, a team of 4. I did that on my own. Come on.
Sometimes, listen, when John Davidson talks to me about what he did crossing the Atlantic, I am actually speechless. And some of me thinks, did he put it onto a container and get a lift? I mean, I cannot believe it. But he did it, and we talked to him along the way, and I'm absolutely in awe of what he did on his own. The strength and the resilience and the mental strength to do it. Never mind the physical challenge. He's the oldest Scotsman to have done it. He is just nails, that man, and I couldn't be more proud of his achievements. So fair play to John, and it's brilliant that he's still supporting us. And I wish we were having events, because when we open up, getting John along to talk to people about what he did it's absolutely fascinating and totally inspiring. But you asked me about my winners. The winners are, because of these beautiful pictures in the snow, and this just shows you getting out and doing it because they think it's the right thing to do. This is the Walker family, and they are just amazing. And so amazing. I hope you've got some of the
where are they? Where is that? Oh, what?
Look at that. So that's up in the hills, actually not far from here. They are in Gloucestershire, but they are in Team South, which is awesome. And look at that, mountain biking in the snow. And there was another one, I think, one with the snoods on and stuff. But anyway, I just think it's a great effort. They're clocking up the miles, and every now and again they post a map showing their route to show where they've been, and you think that's impressive. So. They get the beer this week.
Not the boys though. The boys are not allowed the beer. The dad's allowed the beer.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Responsible.
Yeah, just before we start getting pelters. Yeah, that is ridiculously impressive. But I think people are getting out as families, aren't they? They're getting out to try and rack it up, and they're all signing up. I have to admit, the Atlantic row is beginning to seem appealing to me at the moment, up against these Edinburgh women that I seem to be sharing my house with at the moment. Anyway. Jill, we've got two other guests. We need to bring in Mel. Do you know Mel?
I know Mel. She's my quiz mate. She's now in a quiz team.
Oh, really? You've two. You must have sport absolutely cornered.
Ask her about The Wanted, that amazing pop combo. She's an expert on The Wanted.
Oh, is she got The Wanted signed up? Are they getting signed up tomorrow? Watch this space. My daughter will be going off her nut because I think she's a fan of The Wanted. So, without any further ado, let's bring in Mel, who is our Exiles representative. Hello, Mel. Oh, Mel, you're on mute. You're on mute. Somebody, we need to hear Mel. Oh,
how can Mel be muted?
Yeah, thanks for coming, Mel. It's really nice to see you. We really appreciate everything you've done.
Wait a minute, we'll get her off mute.
Mel, can you unmute yourself? Have you got the power? Oh, you think you have? I think I could.
There we go. Here she is.
I can't believe you brought up The Wanted, but now we're going to have to sign them. They've got to be in Team Exiles.
you got to get The Wanted.
Listen, Mel and I are unbeaten, aren't we? We're unbeaten.
We are undefeatable, yeah. We're just champions of sport in Gloucestershire. BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
So is this a pub quiz? Is this a quiz that is online?
Oh.
Where is this coming from?
It's local BBC Radio. So we've been on twice now. I'll say we won both times. Maybe the first time was a draw because I messed up on The Wanted. We did exceptionally well this past week.
That's impressive. So there's a bit of competition down in Gloucestershire between you two, if it's the South and the Exiles.
Yeah. I saw your picture of the family in Gloucestershire. But actually, at the end of the day, it's fantastic that everybody is signing up and to whatever team they're signing up to. But there has been a lot of confusion. So a lot of people have come to me that have, say, from sort of Worcester and North and said, well, surely we should be in the Midlands and the North. No, it's not. This is an old Scottish district. So a lot of people have signed up for the wrong teams.
I think North and Midlands have definitely benefited. Rhoda Lloyd, who plays on the wing for Scotland Women, she was telling me that one of the Loughborough Lightning girls had signed up for North and Midlands because she's from Loughborough.
Exactly. Yeah, I had someone from Worcester saying to me, surely you should be in the North and Midlands. No.
So Mel, you guys, the Exiles, are, what's the polite way of putting this? You're trailing, I suppose.
We are quality over quantity. I think that's how you put it.
And are you finding it difficult working with team captain Jim Hamilton? He's a bit of a prima donna, isn't he?
He's a superstar. Captain Jim, he's on it. Yeah, absolute superstar. And Johnny Beattie with our recruitment, he's on fire.
Johnny Beattie is the man with the contacts.
He is, isn't he? His black book must be like a big black book.
He must have the Spice Girls number.
Oh, yeah,
the circles that he's mixed, then he must have.
Bruce,
the Spice
I'm gonna have to tell you something. And listen, I'm glad you're sitting down here because this is going to come as a bit of a bolt from the blue. The Spice Girls split up. They've split up.
No, they haven't. I saw them at Murrayfield. I was there. There was just one of them missing. They are
Posh lives just down the road.
Of course she does. Of course she does.
And the redheads, what's her name? The one that wears the union. She's not that far away either.
That would be Ginger, Jill. Did he give me that one? Nonsense. Did he give me that? Nonsense?
She's not that far away either.
They live at the bottom of your hill. I see them in Waitrose. I tell you what, you've come a long way from Hoyt, Jill Douglas. I see them in Waitrose. Oh, goodness me.
I saw Salty Spice at Keswick Mountain Festival year before last. That can't account, but I haven't got a number.
Your Majesty, Miss Douglas, I think we're going to have to let you go, Lady Douglas, because you've got some Xbox time to go and cut short or something. I think those noisy neighbours. The Beckham, go and tell the Beckhams to turn their music down.
Bloody nightmare! They're round here all the time. No, I haven't got any more sugar. I'm hoarding it for later. You got any toilet roll? No, that wasn't me. I toilet roll. Right, listen, I'm going to go. Mel, lovely to see you, and thanks for everything. And Bruce, thank you as well for everything. And keep it up. Remember, sign up a friend for Friday.
Thank you, Jill, who is all Hoik. No half Hoik, all Hoik. So, Mel, how the devil are you?
Hello, I'm really good, thank you, Bruce. How are you?
I am very well. I don't know when I was last this happy. Let's put it that way.
Oh, we like happy. That's good.
It has been so good to see you involved and fully involved on social media, replying to people, really motivating people, which I think everybody gets a huge kick out of. How are you racking up miles?
A lot of them on my bike for me. I'm doing a lot of time inside, so on my turbo trainer, getting out and going for usually night walks. I kind of find it. Last night I found myself walking through a cemetery, which was interesting. But it was really quiet.
It was really quiet. Shocking, really.
Really easy to social distance in a cemetery, thankfully.
You'd get a fright if the cemetery was noisy.
Yeah, I did hear a bit of a noise, so I kind of pelted out there as quick as I could actually at the end of it at about 10 o'clock at night. It's the first time I've been able to walk through a cemetery since I watched there was a Dracula series like last winter. Oh, it was good, but there was a scene at the graveyard, and yeah, that's the last time I've been able to go there in the dark. So.
I didn't watch scary things. I'm more of a Pitch Perfect 1, 2, and 3 kind of guy than a scary movie kind of guy. So why have you got involved? Is it because your quiz teammate told you need to get involved in this?
Well, partly, yeah. I mean, Jill and also Mark Beaumont, they got in touch and asked me. It's about rugby, it's about cycling, it's about motivating the masses to get active. So, that's brilliant for me, and I love a challenge. I've got, I sadly lost a friend to motor neuron disease as well in 2019. So it's it's a cause very close to my own heart. But every reason why I want to get involved, it's just a fantastic challenge, and it's all about getting people moving, getting the miles in, which is what I do best.
And just listening to you could tell you're an inspirational person. Now, as believe it or not, I actually do a little bit of research before this. How cool is your website?
Oh, thanks.
Your website is really cool. Now, you are a phenomenally inspirational person. Your story is a really interesting one. Can you give us a 30-second, this is who Mel is?
30 seconds. Can you see if you've done the research? You can do it for me. I don't think I can do anything in 30 seconds.
I'm just going to make you blush. London and Rio Paralympics. You've hand cycling. You've got a world record. The bit I love the most, Mel, right? Because not everybody can get the medal or have the world record. It's great to meet someone like you that has. But there are 2 phrases on your website that I absolutely loved. One was "dream big," and the other one is "live an adventure." Now, that I think is kind of where we are with this situation, isn't it? We're dreaming big and we're trying to, in what is a straight, it almost feels like we're in some kind of movie, but we're trying to get some adventure out of it.
Yeah. We're all in this lockdown. We're all obviously this crazy, not great times, but there's positives that we can find out of it, and we are. And just by being involved in something like this and seeing so many people from all walks of life and following everyone and chatting on social media, coming together and having a purpose, it just makes things, you feel so good, don't you? Make you feel so much better, make you want to be part of it. Yeah, it just builds and builds. And like you say, it's all about dreaming big, and you can do that in whatever circumstance you find yourself in.
I just love it. I loved reading it. I thought the website was absolutely top drawer. You guys have done 223,000. Like that's huge. That's a lot of miles, and it's only 3,400 odd people. So people are clocking some big numbers down there, or wherever they are.
All about the endurance for sure. Yeah, and also looking at the fundraising, although. Okay, we are the smallest team of numbers, but in fundraising, we're the second highest, and we're less than half of the North and Mids, but we're, say, 30,000, they're on £39,000. So, yeah.
You're on £96,261, which in, what's that, 2 weeks? That's 2 weeks.
Not even that, is it? Yeah.
Of fundraising is just bonkers.
Amazing, isn't it?
And you're obviously wearing the snood with pride.
Yeah, I'm channeling my Axl Rose tonight.
Charlie Max. So,
I don't think it was Scottish equivalent.
oh, we've got plenty. We've got, but one of them got in a lot of trouble. He was on Rabsy Nisbet, so we better not mention him.
Better not bring him in.
No, better not mention him. Mel, who? We've got the big names, but who have you seen on social media that's going to win your 12-pack of Genius? Who's grabbed your attention?
There's been some fantastic people out there. I mean, I've got a few more of my friends involved this week. So I've got my farmer friends involved. I've got one of my fellow GB athlete involved, Kylie Grimes. So she is GB wheelchair rugby, and she's getting all of her crew involved as well, which is fantastic. We have got the Isle of Arran. They are true exiles. So that's brilliant. And I've been seeing a lot of photos over in Arran, and that's my heartland, so I'm really kind of missing not being able to get over there in the mountains at the minute. But actually, when it came to my winner for the picture, I was really torn. There were a couple of people that have been really putting in the miles and posting something every single night and great pictures. But when it comes to a picture of a cute dog, then I can't really resist.
I know that because I sent you a picture of Maggie and you were a fan. Yeah. Oh my, look at that.
Isn't he amazing? So we've got to get a snood on this dog. I thought, that would have topped it. I understand that there's such a rush on these snoods, so we're hopefully going to get one out to him. And next time, Leslie can send us a picture of. We need to find out his name as well. Handsome dude in his snood.
Handsome dude in his snood. Yes.
In his exile snood.
Got the right. How cool is that dog?
Isn't he amazing?
Knows he's cool. Knows he's.
He does. He just knows it. Yeah.
That is a great choice. And there are now people going, right, post a picture of dog, post a picture of a dog.
A horse, a rabbit. Yeah.
So
got me.
What's your motivational chat for getting somebody to sign up tomorrow? How do we convince people to get involved in this?
Well, hopefully, I mean, there's so many people involved so far, isn't there? And we're pushing it out there and everyone knows what we're doing. And hopefully people watching tonight are sort of psyched up and ready to maybe get out their night walks tonight or get out first thing in the morning and, tell your friend. If you're getting into work, tell your work colleague. If you're working from home, tell your work colleague. Tell your kids, your parents, everybody, whoever it is, just get one person each. Ideally, get more than one person. And we'll build the exiles. We are an endurance train. So we're building. It's not about sprint. It's definitely a long distance road, this one. And we're going to come out and smash it. But everyone is doing fantastic. I'm so proud of everyone.
Let's look at room for improvement here. Right, you've got over 2 weeks to go. The south is Gala and Hoyk and Stow and Selkirk and Langham and all those places, and then you've got Edinburgh as the city and its surrounds. You've got the whole world to choose from. Like, if you get the rest of the world to sign up, you've won this. How do you get why don't you go and sign up a country? Be like Phoebe on Friends and go and phone China and see how those guys are going.
That's such a good idea. Yeah. Australia, maybe. Get Australia.
John Beattie, give China a call.
Beattie, yeah, you've got all the contacts.
What countries we got?
Yeah.
Now, Mel, this is, I hope you take that. You were the person that intimidated me the least because you sent me a really nice message, and you said happy, and I looked at your website and I thought, MDO website like that has got to be pretty cool. The rest of them scare me. Now, Eilidh is the third of our sports presenting royalty about to come on. Have you been interviewed by any of these guys? Have you been interviewed by Emma or Jill?
No, Jill I have, but that's
Jill.
All. Yeah.
Right, okay. Because I'm just last week, as I said, it was 4 rugby players and Daft Davy from Captain Edinburgh. I know Daft rugby players and I know Daft Davy, so that was okay. But this week, I tell you what, it's been a struggle. But I got past Doddsy, we got past the Ice Maiden, we got past the Godmother, we then on to you. So I sort of gave myself a buffer before we go to Eilidh. Do you think we're doing okay here? Is Eilidh going to do it?
I think you're going to do it. I think you've been doing really, really well. So
stop it. Stop it. That's
I'm sure she's going to look after you.
Well, Mel, hang around because, safety in numbers. And let's see if the magnificent Eilidh Barbour is there, who is another one of those annoying people who's good at everything. Hello.
Or disappear. Oh, hello. Right.
No, don't you disappear. Just you stay there. Okay. We're not even going to put you on mute. We're going to let you speak.
I want to say that we're talking about Bond. Now, we might have better than Bond. So Andy Torbett, if you're listening, Bond double, also Scottish, living in Gloucestershire, or actually just over the border, I think. So also fellow 7 Area Rescue volunteer. So come on board the Exiles. This is your call to arms.
He is a Bond double.
He is indeed, yeah. Daniel Craig double. Apparently
right,
not his butt double. I did ask, but apparently Daniel Craig didn't need a
if we're going to pull that one out the bag, Gru from Despicable Me. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Hey, careful. I've got feelings. Eilidh Barbour, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And I don't know why you're concerned. I'm more concerned because I know you work with my cousin.
Yes, I do.
And I don't know what he's been telling you.
Well, do you know something? There is a story I would like to ask you about. No. There is a story. Now, I was told that when Eilidh Barbour was just a lass, she wrote a letter to somebody.
I did.
Who did you write a letter to? She got a mention earlier. Actually, there was a bit of tension amongst the sports presenters. So I'm not sure how this is going to go down. But you wrote a letter to somebody when you were a kid.
I did. I wrote a letter to Hazel Irvine, who was at that time my hero, really, and she did write me back. And I got to work with her eventually.
Now, I've heard two versions of this story. I've heard the nice, smiley, lovely Eilidh version, and I've heard the ruthless Eilidh version. So which one is true? What was the content of the letter?
My letter to Hazel.
Yeah. Because I've heard, I'll give you my versions, and then you can tell me which one. So young Eilidh Barbour sent what was her idol doing the job she wanted to do on the TV, I think at the golf, sent Hazel Irvine a letter. Now, I've heard two versions of this story. The first one is the nice, smiley, lovely Eilidh version, which is I really like what you do. Have you got any advice? Is there anything that you can tell me to help me along the way? So that's the first story. The other one, which is maybe not the nice, smiley Eilidh version, was you wrote Hazel Irvine a letter and said, I want your job. I'm coming for you. Now, I need to know which one is the truth.
Obviously, the first one.
All right, okay.
Obviously.
You were always going to say that. You were always going to say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, as lots of people are asking now, where's Hazel Irvine? I've not seen Hazel Irvine for a while. That Eilidh Barbour's on a lot the way. Where's Hazel Irvine gone?
No,
so
Hazel's still the doyen.
I think I know whose house they're going to check first for clues. That's all I'm saying, Eilidh. I know. Now, Mel has got the rest of the world to choose from, Eilidh. What do you think? Have they got it in them to pull this one back?
Well, I mean, talk about a large pool to pick from. I mean, I think we should all be scared. I think we should all be a little bit scared about the
we're just holding back and then you wait.
Exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Ultra endurance here.
So the big talk from Mel is, look out, everybody, the Exiles are coming. Would that be it?
The Exiles train is coming.
Right, okay. Well, Mel, I've got a challenge for you.
Okay, a challenge.
We definitely need a Spice Girl, and we need James Bond's butt double. I don't care if you said no.
It's not his butt double.
We're claiming it. We're claiming it. We're claiming the butt double. We're claiming it. Mel, brilliant to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Now, Eilidh, talking of eligibility, what are you doing with Edinburgh? So
basically, Davey messaged me and asked me, and you don't say no to Davey. But in all honesty, I did live in Edinburgh for 5-6 years.
Oh, okay. And so you're claiming the residency.
It's the first place I ever paid council tax. So, I think that probably allows me to go for Edinburgh. But I could have been North, I could have been Glasgow, I could have been a few teams. But I'm very proud to be Team Edinburgh.
Well, good, because I'm saying I didn't. Davey's going to kill me now that I've outed that I signed up for Team South, because I was asked to help Davey and it didn't really happen. Oh, don't. Nobody hates me as much as I hate myself. Now, Eilidh, you are Miss Sport. You're all over the place. You also went to South Korea.
I did.
Why did you go to South Korea?
I've been 3 times, twice for work and once to teach English, weirdly.
That's a bit. And has that helped? Has that helped with the professional career, being in Korea?
Well, It did, in a roundabout way. Yes, it was basically a stopgap to allow me to kind of put
delay real life.
Put a few pennies in the bank, come back and do the whole work experience thing, which eventually did work. And my first job actually was at STV, where I worked with Doddie. So this is a really nice kind of.
Oh yes, yeah. He's an unforgettable man, and you just seem like you're doing the job that you love and that you booted Hazel Irvine from. And how good was that moment when you watched that Scotland penalty shootout in the studio?
Oh, I mean, I think possibly the pictures and the videos say it all, but bearing in mind that we were socially distanced and everything, I mean, had we been allowed, we would have been, I mean, probably you wouldn't have been able to broadcast, but we would have been flinging arms around, we would have been, I mean, what a moment.
And you must have been gutted you weren't there.
Yeah, but I don't think, well, we were going to be there if it wasn't for...
If you're allowed to, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't for everything. So to be there would have been unbelievable.
Now you're...
What a night in Serbia it would have been.
Oh, just
a big night in Belgrade.
When you saw the pictures of the Scotland squad, it was so good to see them looking so happy.
It's just been too long.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. I remember John Collins, Galaboy, scoring for Scotland against Brazil in 1998. Yeah, the world was at our feet in those days when I was a lad.
Yeah.
But enough of that. Enough of that. Times have changed. Eilidh, what? Davey gives you a call and you just said, "Yeah, okay, I'm in."
Yeah. So Davey's actually my second cousin, I think. Although we've never met. Yeah,
we've never met.
We've never met face to face. But my dad and his mum are cousins, and I was sort of introduced to Davey through the fundraising that he was doing when he did the North Coast 500 back in last summer. So that was, I think it was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
on the bike, and it was kind of how I got to know of Davey and everything that he was doing for MND. So that's how we sort of got in touch, was through all that. And then he asked me to be part of this, and given that I worked with Doddie right at the start of my career, and how special a guy he is and everything to do with that, of course I couldn't say no.
Brilliant. Now I reckon you've got a heap of potential for signing people up. I reckon tomorrow Eilidh Barbour is going to be worth her weight in gold, because you were a very good footballer yourself.
Well, that's debatable.
No, come on. You were a very good footballer yourself. You're a bloody good golfer. You're one of those annoying people that's good at bloody everything. You must be able to sign up some of these teams. You must be able to get some of these people involved.
We've got a few. We've got a few involved in Team Edinburgh. Team Edinburgh's got quite an A-list team. We've got Katrina Matthew pounding out the miles on the old peloton. We've got Gabby Logan involved. I tell you, there's some inter-team rivalry in the Logan household. Gabby's involved. Stephen Warnock.
I saw that. Nice.
Is involved with Team Edinburgh, so we've got him on loan from the Derby Rimmer Foundation just for the month of January and into February. There is a signing. I can confirm. I can give you some breaking news right here. There will be a signing on Saturday.
On Saturday, right? Okay. Do they have to pass a medical, or is there some kind of visa issue?
We're just going through personal details.
Personal, right? Okay.
But pretty much we've signed those off, and it will be announced on Saturday.
Do you know what would be really cool if we could start getting Doddie signings along the news bar on Sky Sports News?
Oh my god, that would be the best.
that would be so cool to get in. News just in, Exiles signed the Dalai Lama. That would just be the bomb. Love it. Yeah. So, Eilidh, you've brilliant on social media. You've been interacting. You've been replying to people. Who have you picked out as your Genius 12-pack winner?
So I have picked out, and I really apologise if I don't say your first name correctly.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was scared as well.
So I know what it's like when nobody pronounces your first name right. And I'm probably now going to do it. But it's either Iona or Ilona Turnbull. And I'm a sucker for a sunset. So But to be honest, she's posted some beautiful pictures.
She really has. Her
Yeah.
social media is worth following for the pictures. She takes a good photo.
Yeah, and those sunset pictures are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
she's been class. She's been a big supporter. So she's going to get some genius winging its way to her, and another worthy winner. Delighted with that. So how are you racking up your miles?
I do a lot of walking in lockdown. I enjoy getting out of the house. So that's been pretty much my sort of main exercise is more like HIIT stuff and all that kind of, and it doesn't really count because I'm not really racking up any miles. But I do a lot of walking. So that has been my main. I've done a couple of runs, but my knees, I'm getting to that age, Bruce.
Oh, don't give me that nonsense.
The knees
Don't
enjoy the run
you
anymore.
dare give me that nonsense. Brilliant. Now, your cousin, you're right, my next door neighbour is your cousin. He is a magnificent man, the wonderful Dr. Meekie. Now, he said this about me, and I'm not sure if this is a compliment or insult, but he said I'm a difficult man to have a 10-minute conversation with.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
No, neither. I'm still not sure. I don't think he meant it as a compliment, but I think it might have helped in things like this. Now, you are the third of our unbelievable sports presenters that we've got on tonight. We've had the wonderful Emma Dodds, we've had the godmother in Jill Douglas, and then we've had you on. How am I doing? How am I doing? Come on.
I think the most important thing is to look the part. And you have nailed that. Nailed it.
Do you know what? I even shaved. Look at that. I even shaved, which
is smooth as.
It's not even the third Sunday of the month, and I shaved. So it has been quite a day for Bruce Aitchison. I'm not going to lie to you.
That reminds me of the conversation we had when we all came on before we went on air, and we were all talking about how we'd washed our hair for this.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's nice to put on a jacket and a shirt, and I'm not going to lie to you, the top button is struggling a little bit because I seem to have developed a chin or three during every month, but we're getting there. Doddie is getting me out a little bit, and Maggie the dog is getting me out. Eilidh, what's your rallying call?
My rallying call, given the fact that I am not really 100% an Edinburgh-onian, whatever you call it, I just say get involved, come join us. We have cycling miles for days in Mark Bowman, Chris Hoy, Davy Gibb. Join up with us, and let's just see where it takes us. It's incredible. I cannot believe the numbers that we have seen so far. It is mind-blowing. When we started, and a huge credit has to go to Rob. He does tell us that, and apologizes quite a lot on the WhatsApp groups for hounding us, but what he's managed to produce is incredible, and the money raised, like Jill has said, is just going to do so much good for so many people. And let's just
look at this. Edinburgh have 3,714 members, but have raised 91, almost 92,000, but have walked, cycled, rode, whatever, 256,000 miles.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can't wait at the end of this for someone to show exactly how, have we gone to Mars by the time what's the equivalent? I'm
just wondering when we get the stats, like when Nicola Sturgeon comes on and gives us the stats, it would be brilliant if she gave us a Doddie Aid update. And the Doddie Aid people who are supposed to be staying at home have done over 1 million miles.
Yeah. But we're all doing it locally, so it's all good.
Locally and all within the rules. Don't give us a hard time, but it's been brilliant.
No, it's been incredible, and it's such a good thing to be part of as well. Right now we're all desperate and craving for some sort of companionship and some sort of thing to be part of, and this is what's so good. And we've got a lot, it's good. Like the WhatsApp groups, we've had a little bit of rivalry and motivation.
You got to be careful with the WhatsApp groups, though, that you don't send the wrong message in the wrong group.
Very true.
You really need to pay attention to the group that you're in, don't you?
Have you got something you want to get off your chest?
No, but my mother-in-law possibly has. That one didn't go down particularly well. But it's just been great seeing teams coming together and people feeling socially connected, and having people like yourself involved, engaging on social media. It means a huge amount. And you're one of the lucky people because you're actually getting to go to live sport at the moment.
I know. It is. I mean, it is not lost on me how privileged in a position that I'm in right now, just to be at live sport, but also just to be still working. You know, there's so many people who aren't able to go to work, and I do feel it's a battle in the head every time I have to get in the car and drive further than I should be and whatever. But you know, it's as long as it continues, you know, that's my job, and I'm so lucky to be able to do it. And yeah, it's been great. So long may it continue, but only, of course, when, you know, it's safe.
And we all love seeing you do it. Hazel Irvin's not a massive fan, I'm not going to lie to you, but the rest of us absolutely love seeing what you get up to. Your enthusiasm for it is absolutely top drawer. So thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Taught me everything, so.
Oh yeah. Don't start backtracking now. That one's not going to wash when this all comes out. Eilidh, so good to see you. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
And brilliant work, everyone.
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. We have possibly gone on a little bit longer. So Sean, who is pushing the buttons from Fill Your Boots, will be in trouble because he was supposed to be putting the kids to bed. So I'll take the hit for that one. That's my fault for going on too long. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. Last week was a real joy, and to get the privilege to do it again is an absolute honour. Thank you to Rob and to all the team. Thank you to Jason and Charlie at Genius, who continue to give their massive support. Thank you to Sean, who's been pushing the buttons and produced this fabulous show and made it all happen. Thank you to the guests who are giving up their time and effort and energy, and hopefully getting it back in spades with enthusiasm from everybody else. Great to see Rob at the beginning telling us what's happening, and awesome to hear from Jill with the work of the foundation. And thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, for tweeting, for walking, for buying the snood, for donating, for recruiting your pals, for getting into the Zwifts, for just doing all the good stuff you're doing. Hopefully it makes you feel good. That's really important, that you feel good. But you know what? It's inspiring other people. You posting that picture is what gets somebody else off their backside and out and about and into it. And why are we doing it? Well, we're doing it for Doddie Weir because we love the man. We're doing it for the foundation because we want ultimately to find a cure for MND and make other people's lives better. And every penny that you raise, you heard from Jill, is going towards making that happen sooner rather than later. I have absolutely loved this. It has been an honour and a privilege, and I look forward to us coming together at some point soon to celebrate when it's safe to do so and having a right good party. My name is Bruce Aitchison. If you've enjoyed it, come again next week because hopefully I'll be allowed back. If you haven't enjoyed it, my name's Dougie Vipond and I used to be the drummer in Deacon Blue. Have a great night and we'll see you next week. Go on, Doddie, recruit a pal tomorrow.